Good morning, everybody. It is the 22nd of December. We are here in the club and we got a great crowd and we've got some videos to share. So, Daryl, why don't you start off and tell us about your video, please, your Alaska video.
Well, it was actually documented or started in 2022, but I did not have the skills or the knowledge to make the video. This is my very first completed project in Final Cut Pro, which I've only owned for less than 3 weeks. I've done a lot of iMovies, but it was a challenge. So without Kevin's help, it probably never would have been complete. Anyway, so the data is old, but the storyline is pretty much relevant. So,
all right, well, let's check it out.
In the fall of 2022, my girlfriend Bianca and I flew to Anchorage, Alaska. I was going to bring my Honda Accord back to Green Valley via the Alaska Marine Highway. Before our departure, I was able to show Bianca a few Alaskan highlights. On this scenic drive to Arctic Valley ski slopes overlooking Anchorage, we witnessed a black bear with 2 cubs crossing the road in front of us. By the time I got my iPhone out, the cubs had gone over the edge, and I only got this image of the sow. At the Alaska State Fair in Palmer, we saw the weighing of the pumpkins. This monster took first prize, weighing an amazing 2,147 pounds. The long daylight hours create ideal growing conditions for a variety of fruits and vegetables. On Labor Day, we drove to Whittier. Whittier is a fishing village that also serves as one of the ports for cars and people traveling the Marine Highway. After securing our car, we brought our suitcases and a cooler to our staterooms. The ship left Whittier just after midnight, Tuesday, September the 6th. This was Bianca's first cruise, so I spared no expense and booked first-class accommodations aboard the Alaska Ferry Kennecott. Our stateroom slept 4, had a private shower and toilet. The sink was outside the bathroom, but still inside our stateroom. A few of the passengers chose to travel in the economy class, sleeping in their tents or on an air mattress in a lounge chair. Without many of the amenities found on the larger cruise ships, I spent the majority of my time photographing the journey. We woke up Tuesday morning to a beautiful, sunshiny Alaska day. Yakutat was our first port of call. The scenery on the way was spectacular. We arrived in Yakutat about 6:30 p.m. There's not a lot to see in Yakutat. The Marine Highway is their only vehicular access. The port is too shallow for large cruise ships, so we set sail promptly at 9 o'clock. Next stop, Juneau, Alaska's state capital. Between Yakutat and Juneau, we passed the entrance to Glacier Bay National Park. We saw several whale spouts and more beautiful scenery. The ferries do not dock in downtown Juneau. That is reserved for the big cruise ships. We docked at the Auk Bay Ferry Terminal. It's about 12 miles from downtown. We grabbed a taxi and headed into town. Turned out there were 5 cruise ships in town. There wasn't a seat to be had at the Red Dog Saloon, so we just walked around town exploring. Ketchikan was our next stop on the itinerary. The Kennecott docks about a mile from downtown. We took a shuttle into town, walked around Creek Street, where we saw salmon swimming upstream to spawn. The Tlingit natives are famous for their totem poles. Ketchikan has a number of them. The trip out of town was as colorful as the town itself. The biggest disadvantage of using the ferry system is the amount of time you're allowed in port. We did leave Ketchikan with plenty of daylight yet to burn. The last leg of our trip, we saw dolphins, whales, sea lions, and lots more Canadian and Alaskan scenery. We arrived in Bellingham, Washington, as scheduled, with the early morning light welcoming us back to the lower 48. I hope you enjoyed our trip as much as we did. Thank you for watching.
All right. What do you think of that?
Great job on your narration, Daryl.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
Yeah.
I have a question on the opening text.
Yeah,
I couldn't see from back here. Is there drop shadow on that?
there is drop shadow. There's not a big drop shadow, but
There's
there's
not
not.
on that one on the actual video. That one.
Yeah, there's drop shadow here.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, it's not like it's super extended, but it is there. What'd you think of his music choice in terms of the
I liked it.
video?
Yeah,
Like that?
Yeah. Music. Or just you heard it you behind which was nice. Like,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it didn't. The thing that's nice is that music didn't fight with his narration. So sometimes if it gets too, soft and then it's loud and then it's soft, it's loud. It can fight with your narration. So the nice thing is, it was pretty level all the way through in terms of his tempo. So once he set his volume for the music, he was fine. I did see one goodie, Daryl, that I didn't see before. Uh-oh. When the last map was on, there is,
Yeah, it wasn't very long, was it?
hang on. Is it,
It didn't stay up very long.
well, that wasn't the issue. Is it this one?
There's one after that.
There's one after that. It's
Yeah.
the one after.
Almost at the very end,
Okay.
coming into.
There was a black edge at the bottom, and I wonder if, see that?
Oh,
I wonder, remember how we changed the positioning? One of the shots that you had, you were up kilter and we tried cropping it, well, it kept giving us the black edge. We have to go into position and then just reset it to 0,
okay.
X and Y, and then that'll frame right out there. But I didn't see that before, so that's interesting. Anyway, yeah, Dan.
At the very end, the last, where the credits are and stuff,
Yeah.
I thought the music could have been faded out, it just ended abruptly.
Did it? I thought he had the little fade.
It'll fade out.
What was it?
It'll fade.
There's like a 1 second fade. So
Probably could have been 3, would have been better.
maybe a couple
It
seconds.
down.
Yeah,
Some stunning photography, Daryl, but I'd like to see if you had photographs a little more about the adventure on.
I really wanted to add more, but, I'm
Gotta keep
thinking
it right.
5 minutes is already too long.
sure.
I did want to add a lot more scenery to the story, especially between all the stuff at sea. I mean,
Sure.
I took over 1,000 pictures. You
Oh, yeah.
probably saw maybe 15 scenic stuff. Otherwise, it was more documentary.
Sure.
Also did some really cool stuff. There was another story about the age of the boat itself, and I did that purposely in black and white. Because I was going to show a whole lot more, and then it just kept getting longer. And no, we got to pair
Another
this.
video.
I was gonna say, that's a great idea. Maybe do a video just on the ferry.
Yeah,
Short little 2-3 minute, if you've got some history about it, and
yeah.
that'd be neat. I think it's interesting. The one thing that I thought was really interesting was the tents up on the boat. The people
Yeah.
they set up a tent or sleeping on the boat and the tents, and then the people sleeping in the chaise lounges with their air mattresses. I thought that was pretty good. Okay.
At the shot that talks about the time in
Yeah.
ports,
Yeah.
at the very bottom of that shot, it tells you how many people were on board the ferry.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So they do a count.
Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Should have let that go. It go one frame back. There it is.
There you go.
Okay.
118 passengers.
Is it 1,100 passengers?
No. It should be.
It's got 1,081 passengers.
No, it's voyage 187.
Oh.
Passengers lift up your.
Oh my.
pile
down behind.
Oh, there you go.
25.
Okay. Cool. All right. Is anything else on that? All right. Well, thank you, Daryl. Todd, you got a video for us, please. Why don't you tell us about your video?
This is from the Luxembourg Memorial Cemetery. It's an American cemetery. And I'm gonna let the story go, and then I'll talk a little bit about it afterwards.
Okay.
Travel has a way of surprising us. Sometimes it's the food, the architecture, the rhythm of a new city, and sometimes it's a quiet place you didn't expect to feel so deeply. Just outside Luxembourg City, in a small district called Ham, Sally and I found one of those places, the Luxembourg American Cemetery and Memorial. We came as visitors, but within moments, we felt more like witnesses. A witness to history, to sacrifice, and to the quiet power of remembrance. The ground stretches across 50 acres, perfectly kept, almost impossibly serene. Rows of white marble crosses and stars of David stand in formation, each one catching the light in its own way. From above, the symmetry is striking. But when you walk among them, the scale becomes human. Each marker is a name, a story, a life that ended far from home. Most of the 5,074 service members buried here fell during the Battle of the Bulge, one of the most brutal and decisive battles of World War II. Standing there surrounded by the stillness of the forest and the open sky, it's hard not to imagine the chaos in the cold of that winter in 1944. And it's harder still not to feel gratitude for the men who faced it. At the front of the cemetery, set apart from the rest, is the grave of General George S. Patton. His cross stands alone, positioned so as he continues to lead his troops even in death. It's simple, unadorned, and powerful. People from all over the world come to stand before it, not out of hero worship, but out of respect for a leader who carried enormous responsibility in a moment when the world was at its breaking point. Nearby, the memorial chapel rises in quiet dignity. Bronze doors, stained glass, and a mosaic ceiling honor the virtue of service, courage, sacrifice, and devotion. Inside, the air feels different, still reverent, as if the building itself holds its breath. Outside, two massive stone battle maps tell the story of the Ardennes offensive and the broader European campaign. They are carved with precision, but what they represent is anything but orderly, a desperate struggle, a turning point, a moment when the future hung in the balance. Travel gives us stories, but some stories stay with us long after the suitcase is unpacked. This place, this cemetery in Luxembourg, is one of them. It's a reminder that history isn't just dates and battles, it's people. young men who crossed an ocean to defend a world they believed in, leaders who carried the weight of impossible decisions, families who waited, hoped, and grieved. As we left the cemetery, we felt a quiet sense of connection, not just to the past, but to everyone who continues to honor it. Places like this remind us that remembrance is a shared responsibility, and that even far from home, the values we hold as a community, gratitude, respect, and the belief that service matters, are alive and well.
Okay. We take that one. Excellent. Good. Nicely done.
Very nice.
Yeah. Pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of Todd's storytelling? Great.
Great.
Great narrative.
Great pacing. Love the fade out at the end, really well done. So super duper video.
It's a very nice overlays too, to concentrate your, what you're looking at.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
know,
definitely.
the crosses with the flag in the background that were, he did the little bit of
Yeah,
who and when.
definitely nice. Yeah, I was very impressed with the storytelling. I mean, it really, as soon as he started talking about it, it just captured me in terms of, I was completely locked in terms of interest of the story, and having never been there, I think that's one of the things that our group does well is some of us go to places that some of us haven't been to. So it's nice to get a feel for that. And gosh, if I'm ever in Luxembourg, I think I gotta go see that. Did you, how did you do your storytelling in terms of Todd? Did you write stuff out, or did you kind of look at some of your pictures and then that gave you the inspiration?
Well, there were, pamphlets, handouts that I was able to read. So it gave me a lot of the information about the cemetery and things that take place there. And there are several times a year, like Memorial Day or certain days where, they have big, full, blown out events where they bring in, the Air Force Band or whoever and lay wreaths down and things like that. But one of the things that I've really been trying to improve upon over the last year or so is my storytelling. And so I write the script first. I always write the script first. I take my notes, I write the script and everything. But one of the things that I have taken to doing here is then taking my script over to AI. And then AI will give you several different options on how you want your script to sound and everything. And so, as far as I'm concerned, it enhances. It's still a story that I'm telling, but it does it a little bit better. And
Do you do that? Do you take it as whole, whatever AI says, or you take parts?
oh no,
There might be a
there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do it. You can specifically go into AI and say, write me a 3-minute narration for a video. You can tell it exactly what it is you want to do. I still always take it. There's things even after it comes back that I'll say, I don't like that, or I want to change that, or so just do a little bit more tweaking before I do the final. But I do the narration first.
Yep.
So I sit down. I'm not using the audio on DaVinci yet.
To record your audio.
To do that, I still do that. I still do that in Audacity, and then import it over.
Okay.
To do it. Yeah, Daryl.
So you record your voice on Audacity, import it in, and then you feed it to AI. What AI program?
No.
No.
When he does the script.
When I do the script, I feed it to AI.
And what is that?
ChatGPT.
Okay.
He's writing out the script first and then saying, okay, look at this. And then the one thing I would say that I like about that is there's times where if I'm just composing a letter to somebody or a client or something, and I'll run it through and it's like, oh, okay, you know, I like my beginning and then I like the way it said this, you know, in the middle somewhere, and then I like that little bit that it said it. It's still my thoughts. It's just worded a hell of a lot better than I would ever do.
Right. Right.
So
That's what I'm seeing too.
yeah.
So I'm
Good for critique of what you're doing.
pardon me?
It just becomes a good critique of what you're doing.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mike.
I have to ask, was that your drone or was that something you?
No,
Yeah.
they wouldn't let me fly a drone there.
Yeah.
So I pulled that off the internet.
Okay.
You couldn't have picked a better morning. The fog.
Yes.
It was just.
Yeah. I thought so too. I was like, great. Yeah. Thank you. I just pure luck there.
Yeah.
You know, that took place like that. But as many as you know, I'm a horrible speller. You know, I've always been bad at spelling, and like in junior high, my parents I had tutors, went to special classes. It didn't help and everything. Always performed poorly in English till I got to college, and my freshman year, that first semester was English composition, and basically we were doing like term papers, and I did a term paper on cockfighting in Western Pennsylvania. I had a Thursday night class. It was from 6 to 9 o'clock. I never missed that class that whole semester because my professor was he was an educator.
Yeah.
And he was amazing. He was also, where's Joe? He was also a reporter for the Pittsburgh Press. He ended up getting voted Professor of the Year by the students and fired by Robert Morris College at the same time and everything. I got an A. I got an A because of the story that I was telling about it and everything. So it's I've been more into like the research and things like that, which is why I like to do stuff like this. I kind of, if you notice, most of my videos are kind of more of almost a documentary type video, you know, talking about history and things like that. So,
Well, you certainly found your niche in terms of going someplace and then making that into something that is very informative and also entertaining in the sense that it holds my attention. If that would have been a couple more minutes, great. I would have been happy too, because you know, we always say leave them wanting more, but man, you certainly left me wanting more. So very well done.
So Todd, I have one kind of nit suggestion in order or use it. Kind of early on, you talk about, you know, field full of crosses and stars of David. And then a few minutes later, you actually have in your video, you actually have one of the stars of David.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can move the clips around or something so that when you're talking about the Star of David, you're actually
That comes up. That's a good point. I'll take a look at that. The other thing that I noticed was when I was walking through, and I had it on. This is all done on my iPhone and using the gimbal. But I noticed, and I didn't see this on my computer. Maybe it's because it's on the big screen here.
Right.
But all the crosses were dancing. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
Is that because of stabilization?
I did stabilization to it because the original one, I could tell just my natural walk to it.
Was it this right here? It was probably this, if it's anything.
From above, the symmetry is striking.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a bouncing up and down. I don't see a side to side movement.
Well, let it play a little bit longer.
Walk among them, the scale becomes human. Each marker is a name, a story.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And
I've got to go back and see if one of the other, there's 3 different options for
Right.
stabilization there. And then there's several settings under it.
Sure.
I need to play around with that more because I
There's a little bit.
just don't like the crosses bouncing around. I think it's disrespectful.
Well, it's just, you know, the funny thing is, and we talked about this earlier, it's like 99% of the people, they wouldn't even look at that from a technical standpoint and say, oh, gee, there's a little bit of bounce in those images.
It's like you're walking through.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we we get wrapped up in the technical part, like, oh man, I want that to be smoother. So,
Yeah, I was surprised that Da Vinci did do a better job in smoothing that out.
well, the other thing you could do too is you can dial up the amount of stabilization
Mhm.
and just try whatever setting that is, and then just give it a little
Right.
more gas and see what it does.
Yeah, there's 3 other settings after
Yeah.
you pick perspective or transition, I forget it, similarity.
Right.
After you pick them,
Yeah.
you can.
Well, I don't know if it would work here. I find I like the lock camera.
Yeah, I had on a lock camera.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Well, you're
yeah, because that makes a difference too. Otherwise, you'll see.
right. Gyration.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw that, but it didn't really bother me. If you can fix it a little better, great. If you can't fix it, I think you're good.
Okay.
Personally. Does that bother anybody else that it's a little bouncy?
I didn't notice it.
Until he said it?
I didn't notice it until he mentioned it.
Well, and I think that's the thing where we always, because we're editing and we see something and we're like, oh, no, this is horrible. And then we try to fix it. And then either you can or you can't. And then at some point
Sometimes
you're
it
like,
gets horrible.
well, yes. And that, sometimes that does happen too. If your camera is stabilized and then you're asking the program to stabilize, sometimes it gets kind of jello-y. And I've seen that happen in stuff that I've shot. I'm like, okay, just turn it off. It's going to be what it's going to be.
Well, I'll go back to play with that to see if I can fix that. And again, because I was sitting in the back room, I thought maybe the background music was just a little too loud. Did anyone else? I mean,
Heard
yeah,
your voice fine over it.
it was okay.
I think it's one of your best. I think it's one of your best. I think it's one of the most meaningful videos I've seen in here, and I really appreciate this. Like Kevin said, for a lot of us, we're not going to get there. Really strong, Todd.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to say is that this is just, to me, this is an example where I was on a 3-week trip, but I just took one subject, kind of like what Daryl's talking about. It's okay to do that, just to pick something, and just because it's important enough that you don't want to glance over it in a longer video. But something that
Well, sir,
Mike and I were talking about that because he's done some trips to Hawaii and that, and I'm like, well, Portugal, was that it?
That as well, but Hawaii recently.
Yeah, but I'm like, it doesn't have to be a long travel log. Just pick something that was of importance and do a video about that.
the other thing that's nice too is it's under 5 minutes, 4:43. And I think if you had this in a bigger video of the trip that's 20 minutes long, this isn't 4 minutes or 5 minutes. It's going to be only a minute or two, and we kind of feel cheated because you're giving us that history of what's going on.
Right.
So I think the idea, it's almost like, in a sense, it's like chapters of a book. Here he's got this 3-week trip and he went to a number of places, seen a number of things. Well, he's got little videos. He'll do videos on each of these little things. And to me, it's like chapters in a book. So I like it.
One other little goodie, when I was doing the black and white of General Patton, that was an extended clip that I got off the internet. And when they went in between them, there was no pause or break or anything. In fact, sometimes a person walked in front of the lens or something blacked it out. Kevin saw that and he said, that's kind of disruptive here. So I went back and I tried to cut it and then do cross dissolve, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
The cross dissolve just did not work. And I ended up doing hard cuts on each of them, which ultimately worked fine. But everything else has the cross dissolve on it. But for whatever reason, this particular clip, I wasn't able to do that.
I don't know if it's worth trying. Sometimes I find that when a cross dissolve isn't working for me, I do a dip to black. It's called dip to color, but dip to black.
Sure.
And
Like a fade in, fade out.
Yeah, but the black in the middle between the two clips, I think helps, like especially, and you'll see it when we get to mine. When there's that's not the case here, but when there's a important difference between what I was just showing and what I'm showing next, I want to give that little bit of extra space to it.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
That's just something to play with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to play with.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
The other thing you might do too, if you're going to go back and do this, check your levels in terms of your brightness levels on these shots. I mean, it's a little dark and a little muddy, and I know it's old footage, like that probably could stand to use a little contrast
Okay.
and brightness. So if, just check that out and see what it's doing. I mean, they're flat images, but I think it would give it just a little bit more oomph. So,
Okay.
I wonder if sepia would make.
well, you could do something like that. That's another idea, just to give it. I mean, their other thing too is there's sometimes with some of this stuff, you've got like dust and grain and some things that a filter you can throw in on something. But I think the footage is great. I think I would just check it for levels, and then try Sam's idea maybe on one and just see, do you like the sepia or is it too much?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
but other than that, I agree with Joe. Well done. Great storytelling. So
I really like when you started like here and you went up the building as you're talking about it.
yeah,
I thought that was really nice.
right there. Yeah. Yeah, gives us a nice whole feel. So
Instead of just showing
the
a
entrance.
standard shot,
Mm-hmm.
it was nice with the movement.
Yeah.
One quick question, historical. General Patton wasn't killed in World War II. He died later.
He died almost a year later.
He chose to be buried.
Yes.
Like that.
He is the only American general ever buried overseas. He actually, about a year after World War II, died in a car. Well, he was injured in a car accident in Berlin and died several days later, and he wanted to be buried there. Originally, they had his grave marker down where all the others were, but everybody wanted to see his marker, and it was just trashing the cemetery. So they decided, hey, let's bring that up and set it by itself, and it's up near the chapel
Yeah. Very nice.
and everything.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have anything else on that?
Thank you for all your input.
Yeah. Nice job, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you.
Speaking of Sam has got a video for us. He apparently showed this, like a month or so ago? Maybe
I don't think it's been that long. It's only a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Thank you. So
You've made some major tweakage to this.
I did.
Let's talk about it.
So, and I appreciate everybody's comments, and Kevin wasn't here when I showed it, but he looked through it on his own. He made some great suggestions about, I had lots of black bars on the sides, and I had titles over a black background, and I've pretty much, I did get rid of all of them. There are no more black bars.
Yep.
And I think it's quite a bit better than it was when I first started.
I would agree.
And hopefully I'm done. We'll see. And it's gonna be shown, I guess, in Showtime in January.
Nice. All right, let's check it out.
The original World Trade Center Twin Towers opened in 1973. At the time, it was the tallest building in the world. It had nearly 10 million square feet of rental space. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists flew hijacked planes into the towers, causing them to subsequently collapse, killing nearly 2,800 people.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack. The pictures of airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, have filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and a quiet, unyielding anger. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. The search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. This is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace. America has stood down enemies before, and we will do so this time. None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you, good night, and God bless America.
The entrance to the museum is near the memorial pools. It is a glass structure with part of two metal supports from the original towers. An escalator takes you down to the museum, which is almost entirely underground. On 9/11, Flight 11 hit the North Tower between the 93rd and 99th floors, tearing the facade and shredding and twisting the steel. This photo shows what has become known as the survivor's staircase. On 9/11, hundreds of evacuees from 5 World Trade Center, a 9-story building adjacent to the Twin Towers, used these stairs as an escape route. Here we see box column remnants. Steel columns, known as box columns due to their rectangular shape and hollow center, provided structural support for the Twin Towers and created their distinctive facades. At the end of the recovery period, what remained of these columns was cut to a level elevation, leaving the remnants visible here. Some relatives of 9/11 victims joined with landmark preservationists to advocate that the cut-off columns be designated as historic remnants of the World Trade Center site. 343 firefighters lost their lives on 9/11. Ladder Company 3 was among the first to arrive and lost the entire crew of 11 when the North Tower collapsed. This is their truck, demolished by falling debris. This is a memorial to Engine Company 205 and Ladder Company 118. They were the first company from Brooklyn to arrive on the scene. The mural was originally painted on the firehouse garage door. Behind this wall are the remains of many who perished at the World Trade Center site on September 11, 2001. The repository is maintained by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of the City of New York. The only visitors permitted are families of the victims. These next images show several motorcycles that serve as memorials. A plaque nearby says, "In memorializing those killed on 9/11, people often express themselves through the things they valued most." For some riders and bike builders, motorcycles were a natural way to pay tribute. Mobile memorials to the nearly 3,000 innocent victims of the attacks. Sometimes these bikes were dedicated to the entirety of the loss. Other times, particular individuals or groups, including first responders and military members, were honored. These motorcycles reflect a deeply personal connection to 9/11, carrying its memory across the American landscape as they ride by. The World Trade Center chopper was built to commemorate the new World Trade Center. Its parts resemble parts of the new building. It was completed in 2011. The FDNY motorcycle was a fixer-upper purchased by Gerard Baptiste of Ladder Company 9. He kept it at the fire station so he could work on it when he wasn't busy. After he perished on 9/11, members of his company took on the restoration project to honor Baptiste and all firefighters who gave their lives. In November 2001, Ted Scherseth organized a group ride to honor first responders to the 9/11 attacks. This is the motorcycle he rode. It grew into a yearly event known as America's 9/11 Ride. Each August, hundreds of motorcyclists embark on a tour of the 3 attack sites. The names of more than 400 first responders who died due to the 9/11 attacks are printed on the rear of the bike. James Cartier purchased a 1988 Harley-Davidson Sportster 883 with his brother John in early 2001. After James's death at the World Trade Center, John transformed the motorcycle into a tribute to his younger brother, decorating it to reflect James's interests. Both brothers had been members of the Local 3 chapter of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union. The motorcycle's front fender is dedicated to the 17 members of Local 3 who died in the attacks. The last column was from the South Tower and was removed as part of a ceremony on May 30th, 2002, marking the end of the recovery effort. It is covered in messages, photos, and tributes from recovery workers. The group of bagpipe players whose members come from the Port Authority Police Department, the New York Police Department, or the New York Fire Department played at every service and dedication pertaining to 9/11. Bagpipes are now played weekly at 1 p.m. on Wednesdays. The site represents a compromise between commercial interests and those who felt that it should remain solely a memorial. A single tower, One World Trade Center, is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. The building's parapet is at 1,368 feet, the same height as the North Tower. The top of the spire is at 1,776 feet, as a reference to the year the Declaration of Independence was signed. The restaurant and observation deck are at the top of the building. The following images are from there. My visit to the site was very moving. At the same time, the architecture of the new building and the views from the observatory are awe-inspiring.
What do you think of that one?
Great music, great narration.
I thought the music really kind of set that mood. Gave you a good feel. I did see a couple goodies, Sam, that weren't there before. Something must have gotten shifted. There was the first shot of the solo, this thing right here. You get to the end, see that on top? You got the top of the frame there. That, and then I saw that on the observation from the restaurant. It really got out of whack. So I know you changed that shot, which is great. I like that. He had a shot panning up, showing it, so I like the entrance. But this shot right here, oh boy. So something top and side got shifted. So I'm not sure what happened. You'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
What do you think of Sam's storytelling? Good.
You seem good.
Again, both Todd and Sam have really good pacing on these last two videos. He doesn't rush it, which I love. And he's telling us, I love that he gave us a little bit of the history, and then he shows us what's there now, which I thought was really a nice way to do that. Versus if he didn't give us the history, it just shows the museum, maybe it doesn't have the impact that it does.
And, like we talked about with Todd's video, this is like maybe 3 or 4 hours out of a 6-week trip.
Yeah,
So I, just want to focus
yeah.
on this. And I think it works.
Oh, definitely. I'm very impressed by this. Like I said, both videos really grab me and make me watch, and I don't lose interest. Like, oh, this is boring. It's compelling, very compelling. And I also like your idea, where, you're going on a trip, you're gone for 3 weeks. Well, don't jam it into 120-minute video for travel log, and this is only a minute. Make it its own video. Let it be its own standalone thing. What did you think of Sam's photos in terms of what he was showing? Did you like the sections like on the motorcycles?
Yeah.
Jim liked that. I figured you'd like that, yeah. I thought it was very, very nice. What was the other thing that I was thinking that you did? Well, you also had just like with the fire truck. That was like, wow. That was incredible. Like those shots, that shot, and then that shot, look at how beat up that thing is. And then this one at the end was like, holy cow. I like all that. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
I just want to throw this out because I have mixed feelings about this, about all the all the text boxes and
Right.
putting all that in. And sometimes I thought it didn't really need to be there. That like the Ladder Company 3, it says that on the fire truck itself.
Right. Well, the one thing that Sam and I talked about, an earlier version that I saw, if he would have like a little chapter thing, like right here, that memorial, he would have that in the center of the frame. And I said, well, what do you think about maybe kicking that up on the top? And then when you have your little narrative text, it's on the bottom. And keep it in the same place. So as a viewer, I'm not searching all around. There's text over here. Now there's text down here, kind of thing. So I like that he did that in terms of like, if you just look at the next little bit right there, he's got the museum entrance. It's down there at the bottom. And that's where all his descriptive text was. And then his big text was up top. It's kind of like the chapter of each section. I personally like that. I don't want to have to hunt all around. In the earlier version that I saw, he had some of the verticals and the text was kind of fighting with the verticals.
And I used a different format for the text and it didn't show as well as the white on the black background. And our friend Holly's originally the little bars on the sides were kind of like a bright blue.
These were blue on the edge, but Holly said she didn't like it. And I told Sam, I said, I'm good with it either way. The blue was kind of interesting to me. So, but that comes down to personal taste. And it's your video.
That's true.
Meaning, people can give you suggestions and at some point it's like, okay, some of them you like, maybe some of them you go, nah, I don't care about it. So, does anybody have anything else on that?
I'm annoyed that those black boxes.
Well, it's funny because we noticed that with Daryl's, it was the same thing. It's something just gets out of whack, and in an earlier version where he did not have that in there. So when I saw that today, it was like, okay, something gets moved. Sometimes we move stuff around, or we cross them.
For me, it's the transitions when I'm trying to do the Ken Burns adjustment and I've got transitions in there. It's hard to see how they line up. So,
well, here's the other goodie for you.
Get rid of it.
This is my big thing. I see Todd does it occasionally. Daryl does it all the time, and it drives me nuts. He's got this big viewing, his program, whether it's iMovie or whatever. And up here, there's just a little thing with what we're seeing. Well, you can make that bigger. That's when you start to see stuff. So when your little viewing window is small, it's hard to pick up stuff like that. So I always try to make my window at critical times big so I really see everything. So that's just a thought. Okay, does anybody have anything else on that?
Well, Todd, it's not ready yet.
Almost. Okay.
Getting there.
Yes, well, you both have twin issues. All right, we got two more quick little videos. And last week, Daryl had mentioned there's this house up in Sarita that's got all the lights. He talked about it, he gave me the address. And I stopped by there maybe Tuesday.
Show mine first, and then you can show.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. Well, no. This isn't a competition. Anyway, I was like, wow, this is great. I gotta come back with my gimbal and really do some stuff.
Do your draw.
And so anyway, Daryl and I got together Thursday here at the club and we were going over his Alaska video. And I said, hey, I'm gonna go back tonight. He said, well, I'm going back on Friday night. I was like, cool. So anyway, we each have a video. You want to talk about this, Daryl?
No,
Just show it?
yeah, I'll just show it. It doesn't even have any credits. It's just for fun. It's very whimsical.
I'd be interested what the neighbors think.
I think
There's only 3 neighbors, so it's not too bad.
yeah, but there's one neighbor that does have stuff, and there's a neighbor on the other side, they have nothing, and the lights are off. And I figure they're either very upset or they leave during the time that this guy does it. So, all right, here's Daryl's.
Or they're Jewish.
Well, it could be any number of things, but I bet they're not happy.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Sure, it's Christmas once more.
Okay.
Right.
All right, what do we think of that?
Can't believe everything that was in there.
It is incredible to see it.
I don't know if you've ever seen, there's an ad of a house, it's just loaded, and the house next to it just says ditto.
Probably the house that doesn't have lights on might want to do that.
That would be good. Yeah.
What do you think of his footage? Do you like how he showed you stuff?
Yeah. So I have a nit, and maybe it's just personal taste, but when your camera's moving in one direction and then it shifts and moves back in the other direction, I would like to see a transition in there rather than just continuous footage.
Sure.
Just to make that change in motion.
You know what, we've talked about that with like drones, where somebody's maybe flying in and then they turn or they do something else, and it's like, cut it before you make that turn, and then show us, 1 second later or whenever, now you're going the new direction. To your point, which is a good point, it makes things smooth out a little bit more, I think. So
Who was the Santa Claus?
I think
he's been right behind you.
I thought about somebody was taking.
I gave him my camera and said, I want a few feet of.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I chose to zoom in tight on the beard so that it would white out, kind of like my fade.
Sure.
My start of the video.
That was good
Kind
time.
of begins and ends the same feel.
I think on that last clip, you could have put ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
That would be fun.
I originally had it there. I actually did. I had Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho. And then I cut out the ho, ho, ho.
The one goodie, you need to fade out your text at the end here as you fade your image. Your text is still up on a black screen for, about a half a second or so. So if you could just put a fade on that.
A fade on the text.
And then
Not
maybe
sure I know how to do that, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can do it.
Are you in Vinci?
No, we find
No.
You could put remember how we do that?
Yeah,
Explain for everybody, how we do that secondary click and then we,
the video box up above.
yes.
Or
And then
the
just
dialogue box or whatever you call it.
you could add a little 1 second fade out, or you could put in the presets, go to fade out, and you can put that on the text. That's a quicker way. Yeah, Tom.
And just one other bit about it, Daryl, because I went there last Wednesday night after Daryl told us about it.
Yeah.
And those little houses that the guy has, there is so much detail in those houses and things on the inside of it that kind of set the whole scene for it. I'd like to have seen some of that.
We will probably see that in Canada.
And the guy built it all himself.
Yeah, which is amazing. Yeah, Jim.
I was surprised at how well the lights came out on a daylight from one image. If it had been at night, how different would that look?
Well, you're going to see that in a second.
Jim, but I was going to say, here's what happened is Bianca and I showed up there at about 5:15, 5:20. I was in Santa's suit and she was in the elf in the picture. So we were in costume. We just wanted to get a couple of pictures in front of the whole place before the kids and everybody got there. They don't open till 6.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got there and Rusty? No,
it's
his name.
I think
it's not Rusty.
I think it's Russ.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, he turned the lights on for me.
Yeah.
For us. And that allowed me to go in and video. There's nobody there when I did all the shooting.
That's good.
So it made it very nice. And I also, because it was still semi-twilight out, got a lot of detail in the.
Yeah.
There'll be a big contrast between my video and. I've seen Kevin's. You said you went at night, right?
Yeah, I went about 5:45, so it was just starting to get dark because Daryl said, well, don't show up. Yeah, I was going to show up at 5:30 because the lights aren't going to be on. I'm like, okay. So anyway, I waited.
Can you go back to the beginning where it gave the address of this place? And
oh, you know what? I'll give it to you in this video. In my video. I don't know if you got it in here.
That's right there. That's right there. It's the title of the.
Oh, there it is.
1321 Calais Bay
Yeah, I think
Plaza.
he's doing it for still maybe the 28th or something.
He it's free, but he asks that you bring a can of food. It's for donations for the food bank or
Yeah.
one of his.
Or donate some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a mailbox there to put money in.
Yeah.
Because he turned the lights on for us, Bianca and I went back on Friday and I was Santa Claus for all the little kids and stuff. And we raised $60.
Nice.
I just put a little jar out that's, donate.
For pictures and stuff.
Don't require anything. They said, if you want to donate some money.
Yeah.
And we gave it all in, which was cool.
Very nice. I like that. Did you get that, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's, oh, go ahead.
I will. I'll probably give you Kevin's.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, here's my version.
And if you do a search, there's an actual news video that
Yes.
tells you,
Green Valley News also did an article on the guy, I guess. Okay, here we go. Okay, there you go.
One quick question.
Yes.
When you go to look, YouTube always asks me the question, are there any children in the video?
It's
Because-
saying, is it safe for children? That's what
But
it's asking.
it asks you that,
Yes.
and then it also asks, are there any children in the video? Because at least mine, I don't know.
I never get that. It asks
You
you,
have to click on a little arrow there and then it opens up to that question.
okay,
Yeah.
it does, it asks you, is this safe for children?
Right.
And first time that I ever saw that, I was like, yes, well, then it goes into this whole big thing about, you gotta put in this big explanation why it's safe for children. I'm like, screw that. So it's just, every video that I do, it's not safe for children, even though it's very tame. So, anyway. The one thing I will say that was really nice, it's so bright that the phone really does a nice job. The only shot that was even a little bit noisy was that one shot. This shot right here has a little bit of noise in it. But other than that, the other ones really,
It's all done on your phone.
it's all done on the phone,
Nice.
gimbal on the phone. Yeah,
Well, the difference, you shot in 4K. I think I shot mine in 1080.
yeah, well, that allows me to add some movement.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I've always said is, if you're gonna do a move, like a little pan or something like that, then just shoot a static shot and then do it electronically. The shot of the, let's see, the kids are coming in right here. That's a static shot. And I just add the movement in the editor so that I'm zooming out. Hang on. So if you shoot in 4K and edit in 1080, that allows you to had some movement and moved stuff around.
Well, like, the story is in the details, and then you got a little bit to show you the size of it, but tells a better story than just walking around, which is what I do.
Yeah.
And do you shoot 60 frames so you can slow things down?
No, I'm shooting at 30 frames. Yeah. So I did shoot some in slow motion. And then to Joe's question, because he's asked this before, he says, "Do you ever shoot in cinematic?" And I was like, that's one of the iPhone things you can select focus. And I never have. Well, I started screwing around with it on this shoot. And this
The reindeer shot?
What's that?
Was it the reindeer shot?
No, it's this shot right here. So I focused on the little figurine, and then it blows out the background.
I thought the opening shot with the reindeer, where the background is very blurred.
That's electronic. So what I've done,
great.
What I've done is I created a mask around here so that it's nice and sharp, and then I added blur to this. You look at his antlers and see how blurry.
Yeah, that's why I thought you might have used your Nikon and just used, or your Canon.
Right.
He doesn't have a Nikon.
Well, I used to many years ago. But anyway, if you have time, I'd say go check it out. It's really amazing. You might only be there 10 to 15 minutes at most. I think at most I was there was half hour.
Takes longer to find it than to.
Yeah. But you know what though? It is amazing. And then apparently he does Halloween.
Yes.
And supposedly Halloween's better than Christmas. So we'll have to put that on the calendar.
Yeah.
Diane, you'll have to put that on the calendar for Halloween and then say, okay, you gotta go to this address.
And that makes it, just to think that he swapped out Halloween and gotten Christmas and all in that short space of a couple of months.
He said that it's 28 days to go from, he starts Halloween in August. And then you figure that's at the end of October. And then as soon as it's done, then he tears that all down, and then he starts in 28 days to put up Christmas. So man, what an amazing labor of love.
Yeah, he'd be a great person to interview if you.
Yes. Well, see, there you go. That's a great idea, Sam.
Yeah, I wonder if he works.
I think he does. He must.
To do all that.
Well, you gotta pay the TEP bill. Come on.
Well, he might be independently wealthy.
He could be.
He's actually an automotive car painter, and really good. He's had some, I don't know anything about it, but these
like custom
painted cars with, I've seen some of his stuff. He was showing me pictures.
Okay.
That has won big national type awards.
Yeah, really nice, super nice guy.
Yeah.
So
really cool guy.
This could be a Sam or Joe interview. I see this coming of the guy.
You want a little bit of background on him, watch the news video.
Yeah.
It'll give you a little bit more history. There's been, anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of fun. So check that out. Does anybody have anything else for today?
I just wanted to ask you, when you were, that initial shot you were walking in, did you stabilize that at all?
Nope.
Because
what I did is, right here, what I did is, long story short, I was stabilizing this image, this walk in. Well, as I got into the interior of the door and I cut it out, you don't see it. There was kind of a jump in the stabilization because it didn't like how close the stuff was to the camera. So we talked about this like with the drone shot. Well, I cut it and then just added the cross dissolve. So if you watch, it comes in and there's the cut. I'm already through. So by the time, so I could stabilize both clips independently. And then, so that was a great little trick to kind of fix what ends up being a problem. It didn't look right. So,
Daryl, question for you. Have you tried uploading it to YouTube, and did they object to the?
I
have no kids in my video.
No, the music.
Oh, he's getting dinged, but he's not dinged to the point of us not being able to use it. Of course, Sam, I uploaded it before I shown it in here. So yes, he is getting dinged and they can't see this video and his video in Belarus and Russia. So that's on his to-do list. Or if Todd's gonna go to Belarus and Russia, he will not be able to see the video.
And he may not be able to come in.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, does anybody have anything else? All right.
Just so everybody knows, we have a new computer.
Yes.
In the lab, a new.
Which one is it? Is it
The far
back
corner.
right or left?
Right.
It's PC, not a Mac.
It's PC.
So who cares?
And it's got some nice video.
It's a giddy up. It's a gaming PC and
What could they do within that? Which programs could they use?
well, it's got DaVinci on it and it's got Photoshop and Lightroom on it.
Okay.
Has Topaz on it.
It has
Topaz
Topaz on
video.
it.
Okay.
Video.
Oh, good.
And I'm still working on Clipchamp. I don't know if you were here when.
Yeah, we talked about that.
It's a online and you need a Microsoft account to.
Kirk's been leading that in terms of for if you want a basic editor to start just to play with, that's a great option to start. And are you gonna have another seminar at some point, maybe in the first of the year?
I talked to several people and some people can't attend the Mondays and some people,
Oh, yeah.
I guess if you guys are interested in another Clipchamp workshop, let Todd or Kevin know, and probably I'm gonna happen January,
Okay.
but probably February we'll just, I talked about just have one right after this,
Yeah. For those that want to stay.
for those who want to stay, or I might just pick another day, but
Okay.
yeah, I think it's be more like a special interest group, but
Mhm.
kind of workshop. I'll bring my stuff in, try and run the program
Okay.
and just give people more hints about how you start off with a simple. And that's the biggest comments I think I've gotten are that it is a lot simpler. So if you're just trying to do just a basic video,
Yeah.
it's great.
Sure.
And also, Todd, you're planning to do DaVinci in the spring.
Yes, the last Friday of January.
Is that already on the calendar or not yet? Do we? Diane?
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be. Okay, good.
Ready to go. I just need to click a button.
Okay, well, we'll start mentioning that for those of you on DaVinci or wanting to
Yeah.
learn a little bit
10
about
to
it.
12 o'clock.
Okay,
One quick question for Sam. Do you have Elements Premiere on the new computer?
is it Photoshop?
Sherry uses it all
Elements?
the time. Because she teaches that every once in a while.
Yeah, but she's not gonna-
It's not on there now.
She's not gonna drag it in here is the problem. She's not gonna drag that computer in here. to
Well,
teach class. We've got this.
This, the old one that used to be there in here, and we're gonna look to
And
stay.
that has Premiere on it, Elements.
I
don't know.
There's a list on the top.
Okay, whatever.
Take a quick look.
I don't use it, but I know Sherry needs it. And she was.
Although I did have to take off the license for Photoshop
Yeah,
from that one.
To put on the new one.
Has to put on
yeah, it's not on there, so.
Okay.
Okay,
but Premiere is on some of the other ones.
Okay. Well, I don't use it, but I know Sherry
Yeah.
does. That's why I was asking.
okay. Christmas is Thursday. The club is closed Friday. We meet again next Monday, the 29th. Todd is leading. I'm gonna be on vacation, thank God. So other than that, everybody have a great holiday and we'll see you. Todd, we'll see you next Monday. All right, thanks. Bye, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.